we got terrible news. C.J. Gardner-Johnson, the new safety for the Texans, down with an injury, had to be carted off the field, had to be helped into the building. Definitely a lot of somber vibes. You could even hear it down line out there at West Virginia. And so with all of that being the backdrop, in addition, though, to a practice that still went on and, scrimmages that happened with a lot of the starters, D'Amico Ryans talked after practice to the assembled media. This is what it sounded like.
Yeah, of course. It's heartbreaking when you see a guy go down on the field like that and doesn't get up quickly. So I'm always, nervous as a head coach anytime I see anybody hit the ground. It's tough to watch. So we'll see, we'll evaluate CJ, see where he is, but no update at this time.
When you get the team together, what are you trying to do there? I mean, guys look like they're ready for him, but then it looks like you got to continue working.
Yeah, that's the situation, right? It's heartfelt because we're a team. We're all in this together, and you see the emotion from our team, like we care about each other. I've been on teams where coaches just move the ball up and you keep practicing. Well, I think that's very insensitive, so we're going to take the time there for guys to take a knee, pray for them, all right? Just make sure they send their teammate off well and just wish him well, make sure we're saying the prayers, and because that's what it's about, right? It's about that moment. For me, make sure everybody, we care for each other. And it's not that we throw up or just toss around. Like, we truly care about each other. So that's why you see if something like that happens in practice, we're going to take our time to let everybody take their time. Then we have to hit reset. It's a tough message, but we have to hit reset, and then we have to get back going.
What else, Scott? I just want to ask Coach, when I know that you all want to getting ready for play your first preseason game against the Minnesota Vikings. What did you see out there today? It looked like Miles Bryant was out there.
Miles he shows up every day. Miles, he does a lot for us. He's a utility guy. He can play on the outside at corner, nickel, safety. He moves around a lot of positions. You saw a really nice punt return from him today. He's just all over the place. Smart player I love to work with him because he's very smart. You can put him anywhere, and he knows every position on the defense. So very thankful to have Miles, with us here. He's a very valuable piece to what we're doing.
How much will the starters play on Saturday?
We'll have a handful of guys who won't see action in the game. It'll be a mix. Everybody's kind of on their own plan, but we'll have a handful of guys who won't see time at all. Then we'll have a certain group of guys who are limited. So it's just a lot of different guys in different categories there. But you'll see most of our young guys playing versus the Vikings.
What do you want to see
Yeah, on Saturday we play the Vikings. What I want to see is our guys just go out and see who can go play when the lights are on. Like, guys do it. Sometimes in practice, see guys show up even better in the game, and some guys don't show up as well. So I just want to see who shows up when it's game time. I've seen them practice now for several weeks, and I'm pretty sure I know what guys are capable of doing, but sometimes you always have those guys who surprise you in preseason game, and that's the exciting part about preseason, seeing those young guys, right, shine bright when they get their moment. So I'm looking for guys to go out and have fun, execute, but most importantly, just play for each other and finish the game the right way. Yeah, we'll have a handful of guys who won't play.
What did you make of the offensive line today and how they performed? It looked like they did a pretty good job. A couple blitzes.
Yeah.
Got through, but what did you think of that?
Yeah, offensive line, overall these past couple of days, they continue to get better and better and better. They've done a great job of, picking up some of the pressures, done a great job just one-on-one protection, passing off games, working with each other. I see that progression. I see the growth in our offensive line, and I'm excited to see them actually go out and do it against someone else. But they've done a really great job while we've been here in West Virginia.
Do you have an update on the status of Nick Chubb? He's been out the past couple of days.
Oh, Nick will be fine. Nick will be back with us pretty soon.
You said the goal of this trip was for the guys to be focused on football and kind of really lock in on their technique and their details. Do you feel like you guys achieved that over this trip?
Everything that we set out to accomplish, we got it done here coming to West Virginia. Again, pleasant weather. Our guys were able to lock in, and I saw us get better. On both sides got better. and it was a lot of positives from us being here, and just very thankful to everyone who supported us coming out here. Thankful for all you guys as well coming out here and covering us. So really appreciative. It was everything that I thought it would be. It was everything, so I'm happy it turned out in a great manner. It's been pretty. It's kind of like this. It was the same for me, right? I've noticed, like when we were in Cleveland versus here in West Virginia, what I noticed is guys just continue to get tighter. Just guys sitting around the meal room just a little bit longer, hanging out, right? Really know where to go, and that's what I saw in Cleveland as well. Guys just hanging out, just bonding as teammates. That's the stuff that happens off the field that no one sees. Everybody wants to talk about or report what happens on the field, but I truly believe you have to be a tight team. You have to be connected off the field. And I've seen that grow from our team. I've seen us get closer. I've seen us grow more connected while being here. And that's all I could have hoped for. All right. Thank you, guys.
Here you go. DeMeco Ryans, head coach of the Houston Texans. Unfortunately, no update when it comes to C.J. Gardner-Johnson. I mean, that seemed to make sense. This is not something that they'll approach hastily, but I imagine at the very worst by tomorrow. But I think at some point during the drive we'll get some general ideas as to what's happening with CJ.
No update, but you could tell the seriousness, of just the what they do know, even from his voice. He called it heartbreaking and tough to watch.
Yeah, and again, depending on how severe it actually is, or that he is the only decision maker in this. But I think that he gave us a little bit of an insight as we were talking about, hey, what is the potential of your next moves if you needed to do something? When asked about Miles Bryant and the day that he had, look, he was definitely being complimentary, and he should. Miles Bryant has been Miles Bryant has been useful. Miles shows up every day.
He's here.
He is a utility guy. Mentioned that he could play outside corner, nickel, safety. Smart player, loves working with him, DeMeco said.
It's like when you get that attendance certificate in 5th grade.
Well, I wasn't going to go that far, but I think
next man up.
You know what I did think about is your feeling on Dubon as utility guy. Like that's what it sounded like. Hey,
you don't want him.
He's utility guy, but I don't know if I want him to have to be everyday guy, which I think speaks to I think that's probably the way that I would look at it. If you need to fill in for C.J. Gardner-Johnson for a period of time, you have the guys that can do that. If you need a guy who becomes your de facto starter for the remainder of the season, I don't think that's the answer by any means.
And I think that's where they are. But by and large, I was pretty, optimistic about everything I heard from DeMeco today. I did, just as a note, he said regarding, who's going to play, who's not going to play on Saturday. He said a handful would not be playing. So what is a handful? Is that 4 or 5?
Yeah, that's a good
is
point.
It 12? Because a handful would mean, and he said some would be limited as well. A handful would mean we'll see a lot of guys out there. I still don't want to see necessarily C.J. Stroud, but I think we'll see some guys.
Well, he did say most of the young guys will be playing.
We know that, right?
You're really leaning that
probably
way.
no C.J. then.
I think so. And then, also what that points to in some degrees was he was mentioning how, everybody's on their own timeline, which is a refrain that we've heard a lot this offseason and headed into the season.
I think definitely talk about CJ on that one.
Yeah, anybody with some level of general injury concerns, I think you can make it very clear that they won't be playing. And like Nick Chubb, which
actually he said Chubb's going to be back. I think it's more monitoring and regulating the reps.
How's that hit you though with Nick Chubb? Well, I guess he is coming off an injury. You don't want to run him too hard, and he has been running back one without much spelling, obviously from the likes of Woody Marks and Jawar Jordan. Maybe that's just generally where it is, but I mean, the idea that he did not practice yesterday, even in a walkthrough, kind of caught my attention. It raised an eyebrow.
It did, but I maybe I'm just being gullible, but I feel I feel what DeMeco was saying there. He'll be back. Don't worry about it. I feel like they're regulating it. Now, I will add this. Like I said, I felt pretty good about what I heard. How do you feel about the offensive line now? Because I thought, he was very adamant about progression, growth. There was a great trip for the offensive line these last 2 days, et cetera. I'm not going to sit here and make any proclamations because I still have serious doubts once they get into real games. But I do think they did click a little better.
No, I mean, that's an encouragement, and maybe the specific thing that they talk about West Virginia was maybe that's the place where you stood to gain even the most, was the offensive line, especially as their jobs are the ones of anyone on a football field cohesion. The idea that they get to be out there in West Virginia in that kind of bunker style mentality, getting an opportunity to get even closer with one another. It feels like the defense very much so in what we were talking about. Hey, everybody's out here working out, and Nick Casario talking about that before we get to OTAs and minicamp. I'm not saying that did not involve offense, but that felt like very much like a defense leaning kind of thing.
Me too.
I think this is where the offense even finds a way to congeal even more. And look, it seems like it's paying some dividends. And of course, remains to be seen when they're actually blocking other teams, which I think will be interesting with the Vikings, especially if the Vikings maybe drop some games whatsoever, or the simulated
even
pressures.
Just some basic stuff
that Brian Flores is known for. But the idea that he went as far as to not just say that the O-line has gotten better and better, that they did a great job picking up pressure and passing off games.
Yeah,
that was like, okay, these are, and maybe
that's what you want. That's the start.
Yeah, maybe that's just a level of reaction from last year where that was a clear issue for them. But the idea that, hey, they're finding ways to not just be solid protecting, but also picking up some of the more advanced things or some of the things that gave you trouble last year as a highlight to the progression that they've made.
And then one more thing, and some people might think it's a little hokey. I don't even know where you fall on this. To be honest, maybe you've said it and I don't remember. I very much believe in getting away, staying in a dorm or a hotel, hanging out, going to the restaurant together, walking around that facility. We've been there, walking around that facility, which is, just is kind of all self-enclosed and self-sustained there. There's workout facilities, which I don't think they need a workout, but there's things you can do.
Who on the team is most likely to just go to the hotel gym?
Will Anderson. But I'm saying, I'm very much a believer in that makes you a better team.
100%. I look, it can't hurt. And I think a lot of us have been on the work trip. Hell, I think the Super Bowl trip served as some of that for us.
Yeah.
You just get to know people on a different level, and they become more human. And look, especially in football, but in a lot of different places, you're inclined to go a little bit further if you have a level of emotional attachment to who you got over there. And it seems like, football inherently, the messaging is always there. We're a family and everything. It's another thing to act like it and have that real experience that makes it feel like a family. You got time in a different way than we were just clocking and punching the clock together. And I think that's why, to some degree, I think that the defense has been really good. I have a feeling that will help them be a better team. And I love that DeMeco Ryans is not just, he mentioned it at the top of that. It's not just words for him. It is actions. As much as you have to turn the page when you have an injury like the C.J. Gardner-Johnson or even the Keontae Hamilton, that he takes the time to care for not just, hey, we need to get the job done, but hey, we are trying to foster a environment where you care about the next guy, so we will take time to make sure that we have adequate opportunity to care about that guy before we have to get back to
And even DeMeco had a little bit of a drive-by on Chip Kelly. Did you catch that figure? I know you did.
Yeah. I was wondering who he's talking about because
it was Chip Kelly, I bet.
Yeah, because he was talking about the injury to C.J. Gardner-Johnson.
I said, I've been on teams
where they just keep rolling.
Yeah.
No, I guess pretty much no matter if somebody get hurt, they just keep going. Practice don't really stop.
And that's what's tough about
that had to be Chip Kelly, right?
Had to be.
Hopefully he's learned a little bit different.
Kubiak ain't do that.
Oh, hell no.
Nah.
Yeah.
And that's what's tough about the next man up mentality because, it's right. Like, you need somebody to step into this role, but you don't want to be callous with it. And so I do appreciate that they're threading that needle. Maybe that's a little too overly sentimental. There we go. But I do think that matters, especially when you're like,
especially training camp. It's one thing. It's one thing for a game and all that stuff, and you got to stay focused. But we talking about practice, dog.
Not a game. Game.
Yeah.
No, man, it's a people business. It's one of those things that I think we can lose in sports sometimes, especially for those of us that like numbers and figures.
The human
and stuff.
element.
It's a people business, man.
Yeah.
And so I'm glad to have a head coach that understands that.